No, 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 no.
Hi everyone, Emulacrum here. Today I wanted to check about the end of the sponsorship between the VTuber Kirsche and the developers of the game CrimeBoss Rock K City. I'll check it through the video by the channel Rev Says Dessous. Without further ado, let's give a look.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to be talking about the latest cancel culture campaign to be once again targeting the VTuber Kirsche. Now we talked about her about a year ago because at the time she was supposed to be a featured guest at a convention that me and my wife were also supposed to be featured guests at the time, but she was unfortunately let go from that convention because of her problematic opinions and her wrong think, or whatever you want to label it as. And seeing that, me and my wife looked at that and said, we don't want to be a part of anything like this, so we gave up our spots as featured guests in protest of what happened.
I'm sure it must not have been an easy decision, but I agree wholeheartedly. I am a nobody, just a disembodied artificial voice contained within a monitor, for now, but if I was big enough to warrant my presence at these kinds of events because it brings people to them, if the ones running it would remove some guests over opinions they don't agree with, which is within their rights, I could not, in good faith, support them by going there and promoting the event to my viewers. I give high importance to free speech, and I would hold this position even for guests I would not agree with on this or that matter. Again, the people running the event can remove guests for any reason they want, but I don't have to agree with the decision or the spirit it was taken in. I absolutely commend Rev and his wife for making this choice.
Now let's fast forward to the latest life ruination campaign targeting Kirsche, where many individuals are trying to literally ruin her life. They're going after her sponsors and anything she is affiliated with because she is so problematic. Now, one partner that actually let her go, although unofficially, is CrimeBoss Rock K City. This is a game that Kirsche has been a sort of unofficial ambassador for. She is the largest streamer to play this, arguably, and she has done a lot to promote this game. A lot of their success is in part to Kirsche.
That might even be an understatement. When CrimeBoss came out, I did not even consider it since I had other choices at the time and looked like a cringy, teamy version of Payday 2, with some known actors and celebrities thrown in to try and attract players.
To put it more precisely, it gave me the same vibes that those video games based on movies had. A quick cash grab to rake in as much money while the popularity of the movie is still high, but that usually end up disappointments when it comes to gameplay and overall quality. Only, CrimeBoss did not even have a movie or TV show to leech popularity from. So, personally, I felt like the title would be fighting an uphill battle to claim its own slice of audience.
And here comes Kirsche that started streaming it and promoting it. At the time, I thought she had a sponsorship with them, but knowing now that she was doing it completely for free and just because she believed the game had potential, made me respect her even more, which, now, has me severely disappointed in the developers for dropping her over some wild claims made by people that clearly have a chip on their shoulder and a hate boner for people they disagree with. I guess, Rev himself is about to show us.
But due to these recent complaints, they have dropped her entirely, and look at the results. These are the Steam reviews for this game. They have completely fallen off a cliff, and rightfully so. You reap what you sow when you engage in this nonsense. Now, what's going on here? Well, there's been a long series of articles, viral tweets. It's been going on for about a month now, where people are trying to label Kirsche as a literal white supremacist or a literal Nazi.
Sounds like business as usual. Everyone I don't like is a fascist, everyone that disagrees with me is a Nazi, and people that hold different views than me do so out of hatred and bigotry. Surely, they could never hold those views for other more normal reasons. Kind of a strawman I built here, but you would be surprised how often you apply it, and all of a sudden, many things make more sense when it comes to dealing with a certain kind of people.
This is just the most recent article on the situation, saying this from Sportskita.
Wait a minute, what does this have anything to do with sports? Look at the tags on top. NBA, NFL, WWE, and then, streamers. And why would any regular journalist put a random nickname like Anarchy in the credits? Even if you don't take into account the title, this article already looks unprofessional.
VTuber Kirsche goes viral for seemingly defending Shiloh Hendrix's fundraiser after latter reportedly calls a child the N-word.
I don't keep up much with these kinds of random situations happening. I watched the video and, clearly, I cannot play it here, but I don't see Kirsche being the kind of person that would defend racism. Of course, I don't know her personally, but I watched some of her content and she never came across as someone that is racist towards black people. I want to tackle this in good faith, so for now let's just say that I would be seriously surprised if she quote-unquote defended someone for saying the N-word to a child.
So in their infinite wisdom, Sportskeeda makes this wild accusation while also providing a time-stamped clip of the stream in question where she supposedly defended someone saying the N-word to a child. Unfortunately for them, in their infinite wisdom, their own clip that they provide debunks everything they're saying.
What a surprise. I wonder what the hell the article is about then.
We'll see it in just a second, but to give context before we watch it, especially for those who are not from the United States, two things are relevant to this clip. There was a situation where a black high school student stabbed a white high school student to death. There was then a fundraiser for the assailants of that situation, which raised hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What does this have anything to do with the Carmelo Anthony thing?
A few weeks later, there was this Shiloh Hendricks individual who called a child at a playground the N-word, and then people raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for her after she was doxxed and was trying to relocate her home.
Oh, I see now what the issue is. Basically, the people supporting the GoFundMe of the black kid stabbing and murdering the white kid are getting mad at the people supporting the white woman calling a black kid the N-word and vice versa. Did I get that right?
Now, in the clip we're going to watch, Kirsche identifies that these things did in fact happen and then goes on to say that the latter, the whole N-word controversy, is not good. That's their proof. Let's watch the clip that supposedly shows that she is defending this woman.
How in the name of Baby Moses on Fire did we go from the loving society of the 90s to the fucking mess in 2025? That's some chutzpah. A lot of people are just like unfollowed. That's an unfollow from me. Bostonian guy said, oh no, what am I going to do without followers that think it's okay to call a 5-year-old the N-word? I don't think most people think it's okay. I think there are a lot of people who are tired of things happening, like Daniel Penny, like the whole George Floyd incident and the Summer of Love, like the Carmelo Anthony. There's just a lot of people tired of the two-tier justice system, and they start saying some crazy things and doing some crazy things. That doesn't make it okay, but it's like, that's just kind of the consequence of where we're at now, unfortunately. And there are some people who are like accelerationists that are like, the pendulum is going to swing back so far it's going to break off. And I hope that's not true. I don't want to see that happening. I don't like seeing this kind of like violence towards other people. Like, not that words are violence, right? But there are people advocating for violence on both sides. And I don't like seeing that.
Again, to reiterate, Sportskeeda is accusing Kirsche of seemingly defending the latter fundraiser, and the clip they provide as the supposed proof does the exact opposite. It literally debunks their own claim. She looks at the objective reality that these two fundraisers do exist. They happen. She identifies that, and then later says that given the circumstances and everything going on with the two fundraisers and all of the controversy involving them, it doesn't make the latter okay.
Of course. To my understanding, she's not defending the woman for saying the N-word. She is acknowledging that we live in crazy times, times where media, be it news or entertainment, seems to be really hammering on racial issues and people are getting fed up with it in ways that can lead to something like that happening. She recognizes still that saying slurs is not okay. That alone completely ruins the premise of the article. I think it's fair to say that anybody with 2 brain cells can understand that she's not defending the act, but she's defending the right of the woman to seek financial help after she got her information spread around, so she wants to relocate. Personally, while I am disappointed in what she said and, naturally, do not condone it in the least, I agree that she should be able to start a GoFundMe if a murderer can do the same for his legal procedures. Feels pretty clear to me that saying slurs to a kid is nowhere on the same level as killing someone.
But Sportskeeda then says that is proof of her defending the fundraiser.
Are this anarchy, and all the other people that allowed this article to go through the editorial pipeline until its publication, retarded? No, Clearly they aren't. They want a big hit piece that brings clicks on their pathetic website, and they don't care for things like integrity or doing their due diligence. I said I want to tackle this in good faith, but I'm sorry, there's just no way a normal person jumps to that conclusion.
It is incredibly dishonest. Honestly, at this point, they make Kotaku look like they deserve a Pulitzer Prize. This is a garbage headline. It is misleading and it is inflammatory. It is trying to paint Kirsche as something that she is not. They are putting words in her mouth that she clearly did not make in that clip. And a lot of people would react to this and run with it, and some people would criticize this article, including Asmongold. You can see this video where he reacted to this SportsKita article, and you can see the like-dislike ratio is like 99%. Now, if you went to Twitter, you would think this is a closed, shut case.
It's Twitter. Are you crazy? Nothing is ever a shut case on there.
That she's a white supremacist, that she's this awful, terrible person, because they read a headline from SportsKita and other viral tweets like that, but they don't question anything that's actually going on here. When you have people like Asmongold actually look at the clip in question that's supposed to defend this claim in the headline, it proves the exact opposite. So this is a very unfortunate situation where people are using articles like this to go after her sponsors and anything she's affiliated with.
This is the issue with these kinds of idiots posing as journalists. Their articles, regardless of how false they may be, help build a narrative. The average person might call into question when someone tells them that a VTuber is racist, then the person that is trying to convince them can show them articles like this one, or just show maybe a plethora of user posts on social media where people claim she is a horrible human being. We usually are geared towards following what we perceive as the majority or authoritative figures. An internet website would never lie, right? All these people claiming the same thing, do so because they've seen the content, heard her say it, and are not biased and blindly flinging shit at her hoping that something sticks. Right. Again, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but that clip, which is timestamped in that article as the source for the accusation, proves the opposite. I've seen the proof they presented, and there is no way that is enough to support their claims.
And unfortunately, that leads us to CrimeBoss, which again, Kirsche was a sort of unofficial ambassador for. They weren't paying her to promote this game. She was just a very big fan and brought a lot of people to this game. And
I saw that myself. Back when I did not give a crap about this game, she was there making streams about it and promoting it. Again, back then, I assumed that she was in a sponsorship with the developers already, but no. She was doing it all out of her kindness and interest in the game. Today, I even found out on X that she did not just promote the game, she did way more than that. Just have a look.
I was partnered with them directly for over a year, providing constant marketing via my large platform, did testing and bug reporting for them on the game both on and off my stream, as well as test out platforms for people they wish to partner with in the future. Dealing with Sala as a means to revenue split with creators was probably the worst one. I also used my contacts to help them hire new devs when they needed certain positions filled. I was also going to be put in the game as a playable character. I was doing this mostly for free, and only got my Sala revenue split links in the last few months.
Of course, knowing that she was trying so hard to make this game succeed, people took this very well and totally did not get angry, knowing that in-game studios, aka the devs, basically nuked that relationship instantly and without proof of any wrongdoing on her part.
And they owe her a lot, but you know what they did instead? They quietly dropped her. She has reported that they got rid of her. They've cut ties because of seemingly the recent controversies. There's no other reason they would do this now, and you can see the results. People are not happy. A lot of people who came to this game because of Kirsche are very dissatisfied, and they're showing that by leaving negative reviews. That's how they're providing their feedback for the situation, where they're seeing someone who boosted this game get dropped the second there's any heat applied to the situation, all the relevant parties. It is a very bad situation. Now, of course, you lose a lot of dedicated fans, but you gain some new ones, don't you? As pointed out here, good job capitulating to people that won't even buy your game, tagging CrimeBoss. You can see this whole yap session, blah, 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 blah. This person says, base game devs who stand on business by dropping an openly bigoted white supremacist VTuber.
What the fuck is bro on about? I don't think any of those accusations is applicable. She's just politically right-leaning with views that are mild at worst. How do these people even get that impression? And why do they not check the content and day-to-day activities of the person they're throwing these words at to at least make sure they're not just making an ass of themselves?
From a sponsorship, and they say, oh, we're so interested in this game, guess what? they don't own the game. They're saying all this, but they're not actually supporting the game, because that's what they do. That's what people on Twitter do. They talk about what they support, but they don't actually take any sort of action to do it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the modern audience. Welcome to the modern audience. And developers watching this or hearing this, this is what you get. When you virtue signal, when you take sides in this cancel culture nonsense, this is what you get. You lose real support, but you gain virtue signaling like this. People who will not buy your game, they won't play your game, they'll talk about your game because it serves their agenda. Yeah, hello, local bank, I'd like to make a deposit. Well, not money in the traditional sense, but more of support via a Steam post. That's what you're getting with this sort of stuff.
To dispel a bit what Rev is saying here, checking on X, I found out someone that would seem to be this person claiming that they have purchased the game. Now, it's fair to think that they might have done so only after being called out for it. And without game time, we cannot say if they will really go on and play the game out of interest that was won over by the actions of in-game studios, or if this is all just performative and they wasted money to just disprove Rev and others.
When you make claims and take a stand like this is what you get as a developer. But of course, a lot of people were talking about this. This is a post up here by the game. And I replied saying it's pathetic and this is my first and final impression of your game. Because this is what you're doing. This is the first impression for me and a lot of people. And I think that's a fair thing to say. This was a very bad look for them. But you got pushback coming from many people. Like this person saying, Rev, do you ever reread your own posts and wonder what you're doing with your life, arguing with a random intern over a decision made by higher ups at a company that will never see your comments is kind of sad.
Even if all of that was true, then what would be the logical recourse to this kind of action by a company? Is someone sad for going on social media and voicing their disagreement, which leaves traces that can be picked up by higher-ups checking them, or even by data analysts or the intern themselves, that might warn his superiors that the move the execs pushed for produced tremendous outrage? Or is someone sad when bad decisions get made but you just shut up and take it because you think you are so insignificant that even together with others you cannot enact any change? To this person, I will just tell you this, as I covered Polygon's case recently. Gaming media is failing because people complain. The game you are telling Rev that complaining about is useless went to mostly negative on Steam in the span of 3 days. Companies are rejecting extremist DEI influences because people complain, and when people complain enough, people that see those complaints don't buy. No sales, no money, no studio. You are objectively wrong and spineless for thinking others should be losers like you. I apologize if that's harsh, but you need to take a good look at what is happening. Take a good look at yourself and tell yourself that you deserve better, and that clearly stating when something is not fine will do you more good than staying silent and letting things you don't like continue unchecked.
So let me begin with this last part that is an objective lie. Kirsche would actually comment on this and say that the people at this company do read the comments on their account and they are seeing stuff like this.
Well, who would have guessed?
Rev, do you ever reread your own posts and wonder what you're doing with your life? Arguing with a random intern over a decision made by higher ups at a company that will never see your comments is kinda sad. That guy's actually wrong. And because I was partnered with the company, I know that that guy is wrong. I know that they monitor their Twitter. I am aware of this. Yeah, the fucking question marks, dude. True.
So now that we have clarified that the higher-ups are in fact reading these comments, this user provides an explanation of their qualifier here, where they say, because I'm a grown married man with a successful channel, a lot of fans, it's beneath me to talk about this stuff, and it's kind of sad that I would have an opinion on this.
Beneath him, huh? I hate this not punching down mentality too. My way of thinking is simple. Just punch. Someone pisses you off and you are a big channel than them. Who's stupid? Is it the small guy stabbing the giant's ankle or the giant squashing the little ant-looking human? If you don't want to get hit, stay away from the battlefield, but if you think your ideas are strong enough and something needs to be called out, then do it, but expect someone to be at least attempt to defend their positions. On top of that, it's not beneath him at all. He agrees with the spicy fox. He sees her getting in a situation that he thinks is unfair for her. Why would you even think that he should not weigh in on the matter? You are goofy for thinking otherwise.
I think it's incredibly disingenuous to say I'm not allowed to talk about something that I care about, something that's relevant to my interests, because I'm married and I have a successful YouTube channel. That's ridiculous. It's a qualifier that these people are putting on so they will try to silence you. They will never hold other people they agree with to this same standard they're trying to apply to people they disagree with. And I also see tons of comments saying, oh, I thought people like Rev and Kirsche hated cancel culture, and here they are, engaging in cancel culture. Well, what else would you do in this situation? So they put this qualifier on it. You can't even speak unless you have certain qualifications, like you can't be married, you can't have a successful YouTube channel, you can't talk about it, and also you can't leave negative reviews because that's cancel culture. What are you supposed to do to show your dissatisfaction?
If anybody listened to the rules they lay out for those they hate, your only course of action would be assume a fetal position, apologize, let them berate you for apologizing, then delete your channel and socials after you have been humiliated, and then completely disappear from the internet. This is what they actually want. There have been many cases of people apologizing and then still being harassed by these lunatics. Given that, there's no option but to never apologize.
With this situation, I'm genuinely asking, because at this point, they won't allow you to do anything, and instead they accuse you of engaging in cancel culture, which all these people saying this, they are proponents of cancel culture. They are accusing you of the same thing that they do themselves and the same thing they support themselves. This is reaping what you've sown. This is the consequences of your actions when you take a content creator who has supported your game more than anyone else and you dump them over clickbait shit articles and viral tweets made by terminally online losers. That's what you get. This is the reception you will receive. You will lose support. That is not cancel culture. That is what happens in this situation. They literally created this negative feedback loop for themselves. They put themselves in this situation, and now this game is paying the price for it. This is another reminder that you cannot win with a lot of these people who are trying to go against the grain here, people trying to argue with you over this stuff. They are incredibly dishonest.
It's not even a matter of being dishonest or not. You cannot win because, even when you listen to them one time, it's like signing a contract with the devil. You will not be allowed to defy one of their positions. Ever. These are the people that will praise you for instantly dropping someone that passionately promoted you but will instantly go from supporting you to harassing you if you dare do, say or add to the game something they do not agree with. They are not fans of your game, they are fans of you listening to their demands. Until they get bored and leave you before go and try to do the same to someone else.
No matter how much patience you have for them, no matter how much grace you give them, no matter how much you try to see eye to eye, you try to compromise or negotiate on things, they will never do the same for you. Understand that. You are wasting your time if you're trying to have an honest conversation with proponents like this, okay? They will never give you any benefit of the doubt whatsoever. That is important to understand in these situations. But of course, there is an appropriate response. Two things really: to ignore it, to laugh at it, or just move on. Or do all three. And that's exactly what Kirsche has been doing. She moved on. And look at her stream yesterday. She was streaming as all of this unfolded, and she made roughly $3,000 in super chat revenue in a single stream. That put her in the top 10 of all super chat earners in the world yesterday.
Well deserved. Happy to see people supporting her and making sure the cancellation attempt goes nowhere.
The world. Not among VTubers, not among Americans, the world. That's how much things have backfired for the people in this cancellation campaign. She's gonna do just fine, and the problem is the people who are trying so hard to cancel her, they just keep boosting her. They just keep making people even more loyal to her because they don't understand how any of this works. So
I will try to make it simple for them. Your cancellation tactics are easily countered by people being unapologetic and verbally pushing you back when you try to throw accusations or call someone a Nazi or racist. They just stick together and there is not much that you can do about it. Sure, in the heat of the moment you can try to reach for business partners, but that's all you can do. You cannot divide a community with your lies because the community follows the person, they see and engage with her content, and they know very well what she is and what she is not.
So recently I've been talking about iDubbbz a lot, and as you know, he discovered empathy at the ripe age of 32, and I think talking about him has kind of rubbed off on me. Like, I think I discovered empathy too. He's at like a 25% on the empathy meter. I'm at like a 10, maybe 12% on my empathy meter, so I can understand some perspective on where these people are coming from in terms of the people trying to cancel Kirsche, who are spending their entire day trying to ruin her life. I can walk a mile in their shoes, and I can also say, from dealing with people like this myself, I can confidently say the people who are at the helm of this, the people trying the hardest, they have absolutely nothing going on in their lives. How could they? When they wake up every day and spend 12 to 14 hours seething about a content creator they don't like, and in trying to get their sponsors to leave them, trying to get them deplatformed, all of these things. They spend relentless amounts of time. They relentlessly tweet about people like Kirsche day and night. Kirsche is literally the rising sun and the setting sun of their lives. They have absolutely nothing else to do without her and their hatred of her. So I think it's understandable when they see tweets like this that they're very upset. They're genuinely upset because they have dedicated their lives to try and ruin people like Kirsche. And not only are they not having a significant impact, it's just making people support her even more. They are serving as free advertisement for people who are neutral on the situation. They're exposing more eyeballs to her content, and also it's making her fans rally behind her stronger than ever.
Can't say if their lives are really like that, but some do seem to be on socials an unhealthy amount of time. Regardless if they have very empty or very fulfilling lives, spending the time to fabricate stuff on someone because they have views you don't like and trying to harass them by spreading those lies is pathetic. I am so happy to see their attempts fail because it means that a life was not ruined and all the time they put into this smear campaign was wasted. On top of that, as they involuntarily helped publicize her more, they ended up making their victim even more powerful than before. It would be time for them to reflect on that. Why, when they attack someone like this, everyone crowds around the person to help them. Then, and only then, they may be able to realize that they are a vocal but minuscule minority and that most people hate them, not for what they are but for their actions and toxic behavior. It's not that you can't win because the system is rigged, the system is fine, it's just that nobody wants to see you win. Those that do, belong in the loser pile together with you.
Of course, the people trying to engage in the life ruination of Kirsche would be seething over posts like this. I think that's pretty obvious, and it's just a reminder of who you're dealing with.
They should not be seething. They should look at why they failed and try to stop being obnoxious and toxic.
Now, there's another element here where, for weeks, way before even the Sports Kita article, people are trying to go after one of her sponsors, and that is Gamer Subs. So they're trying to get her removed, and we've seen many very bold content creators virtue signal in the situation. You have another VTuber parting ways with Gamer Subs because they're affiliated with a person who's expressed openly bigoted views without facing consequences.
I will say this. They have a right to disagree with whom a company associates with, and anybody is completely justified in ending the relationship with the company because of that. I may disagree on those reasons, but if I can show support when a content creator cuts their relationship with a company that did something I find bad, then so can she and her followers. Now, the question is, will they try to get the other content creator cancelled and abandoned by the company, or will they just support that VTuber in a difficult moment?
Oh boy, I wonder what this anti-bigot thinks about white people.
Bruh.
Ah, yes. Selective racism. So, that company was associating with a racist up until he himself ended the relationship. Were they ignorant of statements like this one, or did they feign ignorance because nobody acted outraged enough about it?
Are we even surprised? It's all a bunch of virtue signaling. It's a bunch of empty promises and slop. That's all it is. These people want to say that they're anti-bigots, and they act like the biggest bigots you will ever see.
Many such cases.
Now, I saw this, another person here going after Kirsche, tagging her on Twitter and making this jump scare of a video. I apologize in advance, but let's give this a listen.
Other people are going to use a bunch of big words and all that. I'm not too good at those essays. I'll say this. I'm so happy I'm me. I'm so happy I'm me. I'm more talented than you. I'm funnier. I look better. I have more of a future. It's always some dirty, disgusting, smelly, just lame, loser-ass bitch.
I don't get it. Someone that is proud of what they are and is a well-adjusted and mentally sound person would not throw out a video where they just do what? Throw insults. Are we back in middle school?
They gotta come in and fuck the sandbox up for the rest of us. What? Bitch, get you. You know how happy I am to not be you? Like, I'm not even gonna tell you to, I would not tell you to kill yourself. Like, I want you to live to see how lame you become. What?
I have nothing to say. Just look at him. Just look at him and listen to what he says and how he says it, and judge for yourselves. I think that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah, you gotta get the fuck out of gamer subs though, I'm not gonna lie. Like, someone gotta do something about that, cause you... There's no way I'm doing what I'm doing, all this dope shit, in the same company that this bitch is in? Yeah, alright.
How does he think stuff works? If I judge him to be so damn lame that just hearing that schizo rant gave me secondhand embarrassment, does that mean I should try to rally people to get him dropped by his sponsors? Does he think his standards should apply only to others and not to him?
I kid you not, I spent a full minute scrolling through this guy's media tab to understand the crazy shit he be doing, and I didn't find anything. I don't even know what this guy does. I don't know if he's even a content creator. I'm just genuinely confused.
That's such a shame. I was hoping that, at the very least, he would be some extremely talented musician or artist, or maybe a gamer. I say with zero irony that many left-leaning people, many LGBT folks are extremely talented artists that put out some of the best, most exciting and thought-provoking content, be it music, indie movies, and indie games. Of course, I may disagree with them on this or that position, or this or that issue, but I can recognize their craft, their talent and, most important, enjoy the content they put out. I held this hope in regards to this person, but I guess even that was for nothing.
All I know is that he should probably not read the comment section because he's getting absolutely roasted. This guy thinks he's like the authority on who can work with gamer subs. It's kind of crazy. And also we have this relevant clip here.
Ain't no way, dude. Like, fucking, I don't want to bend the knee to scum fucks. I don't want to give an inch to people who get gratification off of grandstanding and being moral busybodies. Fuck you. Fuck you. Some kind of weirdo drinking out of cups.
Yeah, that's about the best way to respond to this kind of provocations. Again, being unapologetic and keeping on the grind is the best way to deal with them and to keep your community happy, as no fan of an internet personality wants to see them bend the knee to these kinds of people due to how unpopular they are to begin with.
Amazing.
Ain't no way.
But yeah, that is pretty much the situation involving Kirsche. I'll put a link to her Twitter account. You can go check out her other socials if you so desire, but this whole situation is ridiculous. She deserves support on this. We're not going to let someone else fall to some stupid cancel culture campaign. Do not give these people an inch because they will take a mile. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
I think this takes up the bulk of the drama between Kirsche and in-game studios. Now, it seems that Rev put out another video as an update to the situation yesterday. I'll give it a look, but, for your convenience, I will cut out some parts that are a bit redundant with what has already been said, seen, and discussed. Of course, I invite you all to check the videos for yourselves and subscribe to his channel if you like the content he puts out. For that, you will find a link to the videos in the description below. Now, let's proceed.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today I want to revisit the topic we covered in yesterday's video and had to do with this game, CrimeBoss, a game that Kirsche has put a lot of time and effort into promoting. You can see this is just a small sample of her streams involving this game. She has worked very hard as a partner of this company. I don't even believe she's paid to do this. She's just doing it because she enjoyed the game and she wanted to share it with more people.
Just to clarify again, as you can see from the statement that she herself put out, Kirsche was doing that mostly for free but, a few months ago, got officially sponsored by in-game studios, which allowed her to make some money out from people buying the game.
And now, as a result of this cancellation campaign, they have silently dropped her. And of course, a lot of people are not happy and they've been taking a lot of heat as a result of this cowardly decision. You can see now this is the update. On day 3 of this whole thing, you can see the negative reviews. I mean, it's getting pretty insane, the amount of negative attention they have gotten as a result of this. And people look at this and just simply say, you reap what you sow. And it seems like things are not slowing down even after the first 2 days completed. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people are very angry about this, and they're angry that Kirsche has been getting an insane amount of support ever since she was dropped
Cue in the clip.
You guys can go snack the fuck up. All right, I'm gonna have to discuss with Binary Mind about that fucking scrolling idea. I like that. I think that's like the best one that I can think of off the top of my head. Holy shit, what are all those follows? What the fuck? What the fuck is my chat right now? Oh my god! I didn't realize shit was rolling in so quickly. Jesus Christ! Yeah, that happened. Oh my god! Oh my god, let's go! The numbers! Holy shit. Crossbone times 1, thank you for the 5 gift subs, thank you! Thank you for 5 gift subs! Tlayroth A! You're fucking insane! Thank you for human trafficking those 50 schmeats across the border in the YouTube chat!
By this game, and you can see people saying, the worst humans in existence are defending Kirsche and sticking their fan base on a company for dropping her. It shows how evil they truly are, and you can see I make a little cameo right here.
Evil. I think we are going straight into demonizing people with this one. Also, what is the evidence supporting these heinous and irredeemable individuals? I have the growing suspicion that these are the kind of claims that don't stand up to scrutiny.
Just found out today, I am one of the worst humans in existence, and I'm evil. It's pretty insane, the worldview of people like this who are so terminally online, that people like myself are held up on such a pedestal. You'll think I'm like some villain in an anime or something like that. I'm just a guy who saw some ridiculous cancellation campaign going on here, and I called it out and called out their very pathetic response to people trying to get Kirsche to have her partnership removed, and of course that's what they did. Yesterday I found I wasn't allowed to talk about this topic because apparently if you have a successful YouTube channel, you're not allowed to talk about this because it's beneath you, and now I'm being called one of the worst humans in existence for talking about this. It's absolutely crazy. Now, of course, there's a lot of negative reviews, and I want to pick this one in particular because it sets up the rest of this video. This is the most helpful review in the last 30 days, obviously talking about this situation, saying, well, I like the game, it's like Payday, but I had a lot more fun with this, but I can't give a positive review. I found this game because of a streamer on Twitch and was glad she showed it off. Best I can tell, she is the only one that pushed this game, and that matters because the company dropped her over some online drama. I will not support a company that drops their biggest supporter over an out-of-context hit piece, not only because it is a truly dishonorable action on the developer's part, but if they will drop the #1 advocate, then how long before they start changing the game to appease to the same rage posters when they dislike content already in the game?
That is a very valid concern. I know some of you may think, would they really bend so much to the whims of these lunatics? The reality is that there are already precedents for this. Do you guys remember when Blizzard censored Tracer's winning pose in Overwatch? Most of the quote-unquote normal people were like, oh, this is not a big deal, it's not like they're going to change everything around. Well, what did the eternally offended mob do? Oh right, they started complaining about so much other stuff for bullshit reasons. One time is a character in a policewoman outfit that makes the ACAB mad. Another time is the lack of this minority or this sexuality in the game. In the end, it all devolves into people being so caught up in their lunacy that adding something because it's fun, sexy, or cool needs to pass through their oddly specific filters, otherwise you get backlash on social media and bullshit articles from disingenuous gaming journalists. Just FYI, this goes also for TV shows, movies, and even books that get enough notoriety.
And that is a very truthful statement at the end here, talking about other aspects of the game. They are trying to appease the mob. The modern audience, whatever you want to call them, these people find everything problematic, and you fulfilled their outrage. You responded by removing her partnership. Is that where you're going to stop? So when they start complaining about controversial aspects of your game or your team or what have you, are you also going to drop those things or change them to appease the mob? The mob, which by the way, is largely not engaging with this game despite their promises to do so. Here's an example we looked at yesterday.
To clarify again, this person seems to have purchased the game. If they are just going to keep it with no playtime and refund it as soon as people start to forget, or if they actually had an interest in the game and will go on to play it and enjoy it, it is something that we cannot know at the time of this video. At least for now, they have put the money where their mouth is.
Here's another one that I found today. Instant buy. Really happy to see the devs stand against VTubers in similar brain rot content. Seriously, I never understand what's the appeal of males in their 50s role-playing as Japanese little girls. How original. Nice to see at least some devs still have common sense, since Payday 3 is trash.
Based.
I soon gonna look into this game. Seems fun. Edit. LMAO, so many angry VTuber simps giving me free Steam points. Ooh, edgy boy, he's getting his free Steam points. Well, unfortunately, it seems like this is the currency that's probably the most bountiful in this person's life, because you look down here, people said, buy it then, because this person still hasn't bought the game despite saying instant buy. And the response is, next month. I threw all of my money into Yakuza. If Sega at least didn't lower the cost to 45% instead of the usual 75%. So here's some life advice, I think genuine life advice here. If you have to basically wait to your next paycheck in order to afford buying a video game, I don't think your time and your money is well spent using what little you have on a game you're buying out of spite of VTubers you don't like. That just seems foolish to me. I think your money is better spent elsewhere, but nobody's gonna stop you from this vicious cycle of bad decisions that's clearly going on with this person.
I think this is kind of a dumb argument made by Rev right here. Sure, neither him nor I agree with the decision of this individual, but, were I in his shoes, seeing a company make a decision that aligns enough with my ideals to support them by buying their game as soon as I have the possibility to do so, even if I don't have an interest in the game but want to show my support, is something that I think is absolutely fair. Again, I could not disagree more with the person doing that for CrimeBoss, but I can totally see myself doing the same for a game that warrants enough of my interest in a studio that makes choices I like. Besides, at the end of the day, it is that individual's money. They are entitled to do whatever the fuck they want with their hard-earned cash.
But anyways, other people have been saying that they're going to stream this game as well, saying I know what I'll be streaming next week, which is unfortunate because a lot of these people are activists, they're very pro-LGBT, and you can see hook, line, and sinker, unfortunately this is going to backfire for them because Chuck Norris is a part of this game as Sheriff Norris, and he has a history of being very vocally anti-LGBT. If this was any other game, they would be trying to cancel it for a connection to someone like Chuck Norris. You can see this article provided by Kirsche. America just found out Chuck Norris is a homophobic Trump supporter and they're not taking it well.
Another very clickbaity headline that seems to throw some wild labels around. Imagine my shock.
Now, I'm not sharing this to go cancel Chuck Norris or anything like that, but clearly if these people are going to protest against a game, boycott a game because it's connected to someone like Kirsche, who they believe some bigot, wouldn't they be doing the same thing here? They're backing a game that is predicated on someone who's clearly anti-LGBT.
This is like fighting a boss, then a cutscene plays and you're immediately thrown in one of those scripted fights you're bound to lose. I say this because I played the game. Chuck Norris is one of the main characters, being the chief of police that is tasked with taking you and the other criminals down. This makes me wonder, when they will find this little detail out, are they really going to try and ask the devs to basically cut and rework a huge chunk of the game? It's either that or being a hypocrite for both these people if they keep playing the game, and for in-game studios if they don't cave in and make the changes they will demand.
And they are going to basically have to either be complete hypocrites and support the game, or they're going to have to back down and look very foolish. Now, of course, there's other reactions to this. This person makes a very good joke here saying, notice, due to their associations with homophobic voice actors whose views strongly conflict with my own as well.
The VA2.
As lack of communication from the company on the issue, I have chosen to end my support with CrimeBoss game effective immediately. Thank you for your support. Now, this is a joke that is referring to a different post made by this VTuber who made the same construct here, cutting ties with GamerSupps, which is one of the brands that Kirsche works with, and that's a company that people have been hounding for weeks, if not months at this point, to drop her. They have not done so yet, and I'm glad they haven't done that because that would be absolutely ridiculous and a very bad move for them.
Alright, so it was a joke. About this other person, I don't know this Penrose VTuber, but, as previously said, I defend their right to cut ties with a company even if I don't agree with the reasons that led them to that decision. Pretty simple and fair, I hope.
But a lot of people are attacking this post because it has 47,000 likes, a lot of attention, and people think this is an act of virtue signaling. They won't even directly name Kirsche, even though it's extremely obvious who they're talking about. And that's their thing, right? Like, if they want to cut ties with this company, that's their decision. They can do whatever they want. But I see this as very performative, and I also think it sets up a very difficult standard for them to work with for the entirety of their career now. They basically said if someone in the company has views that strongly conflict with their own, they have to leave unless the company makes some sort of an explanation.
That is fair for them to put as a requirement. Although, this puts them in a very difficult situation. You see, either the companies vet all the other people they partner with to ensure they are not people she might disagree with, or they simply don't give her any form of sponsorship. One is simpler to do than the other when dealing with people that cannot divide personal feelings and political leanings from professional relationships. They might think they can have both of them together, but 99% of the time, it is simply not feasible. Especially when dealing with large companies that have tons of employees and partnerships with people of the most disparate groups.
Well, good luck with that, because now every single time you work with a company, people can say, oh, this person who also works with the company has views that conflict with your own. Are you going to leave? I mean, even thinking about platforms, right?
Yeah. By default, this Penrose person cannot work in collaboration with YouTube, Twitch, X, GamersUps, and the list could go on and on. It is a fair position to have, but also a position that leaves very little leeway when applied to business relationships.
Both the people involved here, this VTuber and Kirsche, are both Twitch partners. Like, are you going to abandon that platform because they platform Kirsche, who has strongly different views than you? Yeah, I wouldn't want to be these people setting up these ridiculous high standards for themselves that are largely rooted in performative virtue signaling. But there was another thing going on here pointed out by Kirsche. It seems like Steam is really trying to silence any support of Kirsche in the related discussion boards.
About Steam. They have been consistently trying to limit the influence of review bombings, which are to be intended as anomalous and large amounts of negative reviews within a short period of time. I think this has more to do with that, rather than being an attempt to silence discourse. At least, this is what I think on the matter.
And you can see on Steam, it's a mess. If you scroll through their discussion page, it's a complete mess. Pretty much everything's just warring with one another. There's a lot of people angry at the game. There's a lot of people angry at Kirsche, and so on and so forth. But it seems that they're taking a side. CrimeBoss is doubling down here. They are censoring the most popular threads that are supporting Kirsche. The most popular one was just simply her name, and it had a lot of support. They have since removed that.
They are so dumb for doing that. I get they might not want the negative publicity or risk people that are not in the know finding out about this mess, but all that is going to do is create even more outrage. Basically, the Streisand effect.
However, they removed that, but they're not removing negative posts about her, including this one that she's referencing, and we talked about earlier about the base game devs who stand on business by dropping an openly bigoted white supremacist VTuber.
I wonder if any of those statements is true. Actually, I wonder if the person making those statements has spent any times at least fact-checking the sources that fed those to them. I very much doubt so. Again, whoever is managing those forums for the devs, either remove both the statements in favor and against the spicy fox or leave all of them. You can't have it both ways and expect things to be fine. They won't.
Yeah, exactly. They keep this up, but they keep down a positive thread about her, and there's many more where that came from, but also you can see this one is locked, where someone is asking, can someone quote Kirsche being a Nazi? And this person provides the supposed proof, and this is like the best they got, where an example is Kirsche supporting Asmongold for saying that every trans kid is actually a victim of a parent with a mental illness. This is supposed to make someone a full-fledged Nazi that should be blacklisted, deplatformed, and lose all of their sponsorships and opportunities. This is all they got. This is the best they can bring to the table. But while we're looking at the discussion board here, here's another example of a recent post that's still up saying, imagine how much of a vile human being you must be for the devs to not want to associate with you, knowing it would probably destroy their already small and niche community. Think about that.
Given what has happened with the reviews and the rating of the game falling to mostly negative, I think it is fair to assume that in-game studios managed, through their decision of dropping the sponsorship with Kirsche, to do just that. They destroyed their small and niche community. Good fucking job, in-game studios.
They would rather have their game be a complete failure than be anywhere related with you. LOL. I truly feel sorry for you. And to those anti-woke losers, the game was already dead before your precious weirdo advertised it. From 100 people to 400 people back to 100 people, log off. So this person's basically saying, you guys are a bunch of losers because this game always was bad and had no success. I don't really know if that's the route you want to go, but clearly Kirsche had a big impact on this game. It's undeniable. So many people have come forward and said, I only discovered this game because of her, and this person is fuming and saying, I stand by these devs who are literally blowing up their own game just to stand against her.
First, if Kirsche was as insignificant for this game as that person claims she is, we would be having a whole different conversation. The fact that this review bombing happened after her being dropped shows not only that she was a massive influence for CrimeBoss, but it also shows that an overwhelming majority of people is fed up with lunatics and will not stand for those developers that bend to their whims. Second, if the game was already as much of a failure as they said, then that completely diminishes what the developers attempted here. Rather than a stand for what they think is just, it makes it feel more like a desperate Hail Mary to attempt to boost their sales through this mythical and ever so elusive modern audience. This is an underwhelming direction they are attempting to bring the conversation towards, but, given that they keep digging their holes deeper, I will let them keep up their efforts. Never change the course of an opponent that is heading towards self-destruction.
These people act like these developers are some heroic set of people. No, they're the exact opposite actually. They're cowards. They gave in to the mob. They listened to a bunch of freaks from Twitter. Like, I haven't even gotten into some of the related parties trying the hardest to cancel Kirsche, whether it's the articles or the tweets. These people are some of the weirdest, most obsessed, unhealthy people you will ever encounter. Like, literally Arkham Asylum type behavior. Like, they need to be evaluated at this point. They're so off their rocker. They're so obsessed with Kirsche of all people in the world, and they just won't let this go no matter what. And these developers gave in to these people who have no interest in their game, by the way. That's why they're cowardly. They gave in to a bunch of screechers from Twitter and places like Vice and Sportskeeda. These people do not deserve any respect or your time of day.
As someone who is often right but also often unhygienic would say, they are roaching out.
But unfortunately for these developers, they did just that. They empowered them and they said, we're listening. Now, of course, this has backfired for CrimeBoss. They've lost a ton of support. They probably just nuked their own game.
That is almost assured at this point. The relationship with them and content creators has definitely been irreversibly polluted because of this course of action they chose. If they can drop Foxu at the drop of a hat despite all she did for them, how easily will they drop any other content creator with minimal warning at the slightest inconvenient allegation? Let me repeat, allegation. Nothing needs to be true. You will not be given the benefit of the doubt. You will go to benefactor to deadweight in milliseconds. If people on the other side, the ones cheering for this, want to partner with them, I urge you to do so. Enjoy this sinking ship until you drown.
And Kirsche is getting a ton of support from her fans, probably to a level she hasn't seen in her career, which is already a very successful one. But that's going to do for this video, a little update on the situation from yesterday. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time.
Well, that was Rev's summary of the whole ordeal. I honestly want to check just another couple of things before wrapping this video up for good. As previously stated, all links to the videos and some other sources to screenshots shown in the video will be available in the video description. First, Foxu herself clarified some things. Let's see.
Kirsche was a sort of unofficial ambassador for her. They weren't paying her to promote this game. She was just a very big fan and brought a lot of people.
They weren't paying me. Like, I wasn't getting any payment from them, but I did this year. I want to make sure I'm being incredibly accurate with story times, right? I did get I wasn't getting paid by in-game or 505. However, I did get affiliate links this year. They were temporary links, and you guys remember even when I got the first link, it wasn't supposed to be temporary, but they ended up shutting it off after a period of time and deciding to not continue the affiliate link program without telling me. So I had been promoting the link and it was still tracking purchases through the link. However, I wasn't getting revenue split from it. and I didn't know that it was supposed to have been turned off, but it was still working.
What?
Without the revenue split. And so this was something that I had to deal with in-game with, and they had to go to 505 and talk about it. And so they ended up fixing that situation, thankfully. And then I got a second affiliate link to continue testing this platform with you guys. And at least for that second affiliate link, I was informed, like, this is going to be like I think it was a 2-week long code. I can't remember if it was 1 week or 2 weeks, but it was about 1 or 2 weeks that my code worked, and I was getting a revenue split from every purchase of the game. So, like, I did make some money. I did have affiliate links this year, but I had been playing the game since release in 2023. I had started reaching out to 505 in 2023. When I finally got in touch with someone at the beginning of 2024, in-game, they were incredibly apologetic for how 505 had just dropped the ball incredibly hard in responding to me wanting to work with them to promote the game. And so I had been working directly with them since the beginning of last year. The way this stops is to make the company and studio's effort to revoke more costly than the perceived outcome of maintaining said ties whenever hit pieces like these surface. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the same, like, fear and pressure culture that these people have been pushing for way over a decade. And the way that, like, the last hit piece was written, and the way that some of these journalists are now circling the wagons on Blue Sky and on Twitter, they're tagging other journalists, they're tagging other publications, they're trying to close the ranks, and they're trying to make this another Gamergate scenario, where they try to drive away fans with wrong opinions, still in gaming, but also in the VTubing quote-unquote community. I don't believe there's a VTubing community. I've been very open about this many, many times. But this is what they're trying to do. They're not entirely, like, they are going after me and they're trying to ruin my life because they don't want me to have a platform. But the goal is to get rid of you.
Very understandable. Fans of these kinds of content that, for them, spread the wrong opinions are, each of them, potentially a new content creator that will create and relay the kind of content keeping on spreading thoughts they don't like and views they hate. Each person listening even to this video has the potential to become a new personality in the community of the wrong side of history, according to them, which will go on to create their own communities that will keep on spreading. Their only hope is to nuke the epicenter so that the quote-unquote bigger players are gone for good and the fans and smaller ones are scared into submission of having something similar done to them.
The goal is to do the same thing to people who want to be here and want to enjoy VTubers. What they did with the whole gamers are over campaigns. Like, games don't need gamers anymore. Gamers are done. Gamers are bigots and they're the players of the past. We're setting the ground for the new audience.
I'm sorry, but what is this new audience even supposed to look like? If you send away gamers, those that made the gaming industry as big as it is, the industry will start to stagnate and eventually die. As others have said, these people's opinions and views are incredibly unpopular. They are poison that kills industries and stifles creativity when applied where it doesn't belong or in ways that it doesn't fit, in most cases.
They're literally trying to colonize VTubing? Yeah, and this is why I said, like, I've been the canary in the coal mine this entire f***ing time. And there are some people that would rather denigrate me and pretend it's not happening because they just want to enjoy their waifu. I get it, bro. I don't want you to have to be involved in politics, but, like, if I'm trying to make sure that everyone can still enjoy everything instead of it being some weird-ass hug box that your Oshi will also probably get attacked for at some point, because these people never stop purity spiraling. It's not going to stop with me.
This also is most certain. Those people, not all of them but the most schizo of them, will keep on pushing those requirements higher and higher. People can ignore the situation and hope that they will be put in their place before it spirals out of control, or they can wait in and ensure it doesn't even come close to that. Again, there is no pressure to take a stand against disingenuous activists, but there is certainly an incentive in doing so. Even something like complaining against them when you see them pulling something like this has the benefit of leaving a trace of pushback against them. This alone can ruin entire narratives where they try to claim things like, there was no outrage, or, nobody complained about this censorship or that change.
If they get me out of the way, they're gonna go after Alana, they're gonna go after Leaflet, they're gonna go after Pippa, they're gonna go after all of these people that they perceive are too edgy, are too extreme, are too over the line. It's not going to stop with me, so your hatred of me, even if you dislike the things that I say, I've been trying to prevent this.
You may disagree with her on political takes or what things you and her prioritize in games and other medias, but you have to agree that she is absolutely and objectively correct about this. Were she to be taken out of the equation, they will move on to the next head to put on the chopping block.
They're going after. Exactly, it's like Trump, they're after us, you're just in the way.
Lastly, I wanted to check with you guys what also started this whole conversation, the Vice article by Anna Valens and who this person is. Start the clip.
I don't know why everybody's mad at Kirsche. Everywhere I go all over the internet, I'm finding stuff like this. It's absolutely ridiculous that this witch hunt has been brought on by this person right here. I guess it's time we find out why Anna Valens has a problem. In May of 2025, Kirsche faced a wave of cancellation attempts. It began with going after her GamerSub sponsorship, and then moved on to her YouTube sponsorship, and finally, it culminated in in-game studios dropping her as a CrimeBoss Roque City sponsored streamer.
It's in the year of our Lord 2025! An anime-themed tea company told me to kill myself!
X.com captures the plethora of comments surrounding this incident. In an attempt to call out hypocrisy, one user, @DomainDead, said, "I hate cancel culture when it happens to me, now go do it to this game developer." Once again, trying to get the dunk on Kirsche.
Were they not the ones that did that to a developer? I am fairly sure that Daniel Vavra would have something to say about that.
A great deal of people may not have heard of her before, but now certainly have picked up on this story, seeing as how Vice continues to spread it around. Speaking of which, we should find out more about the person that started this cancel mob.
I'm sure they must be the most righteous and pious person around if they're willing to go to such lengths.
And so this originally started as just your classic breeding facility, but it was expanded over time through a Kickstarter, actually. If you are a trans girl or if you are trans feminine, you can go ahead and sign up for a reservation slot to an all-day access to one of many breeding facilities where you get to breed the shit out of that cis girl.
P-word.
You can absolutely devastate that shit, fucking destroy it, murder it. It's done. Like, they have to cycle the girls out because that
P-word
is absolutely out of commission.
Oh, I guess I was wrong. That's about it. If I managed to keep your attention up till now, I thank you all for watching. All links to these videos will be in the description for you to check at your convenience. I am curious to check your comments about this whole mess under this video. Personally, though, I hope all ends well for the Spicy Fox lady and, judging from what can be seen right now, it seems that things are looking quite up for her, especially compared to in-game studios. But that is it. I thank you all again and I will see you all in my next video. Peace.
What?